Hey guys, there was a question about active imagination and what my process is like, so I thought I would just record a quick video to describe it rather than write about it because that sounded boring to me. So um, yeah, so we'll start by saying I'm pretty new to all this. I have only been practicing active imagination for maybe 3 weeks now. I think I maybe did one last year or the year before, and it didn't stick, but this time it's been sticking. I highly recommend a book called Inner Work. I think it's by a guy called Robert Moore. Very good at explaining active imagination and the process um, that you can go through. There's essentially three different styles as far as I can tell. One where you work with dreams. For example, if you wake up from a dream and the dream is unfinished, you can sort of connect with that dream and start imagining where that dream could have gone. Second one is if there's an aspect of your life that you want to change, you can sort of tune into the sensations, the feelings, the emotions that you have in relation to that aspect, and then start writing and journaling based on that as well. But the third approach, which I've been using more of in the last week or so, and has led to this basically a book that's being written about something unusual going on in some desert landscape, which has been quite fantastic. Which is the process is basically sit down, maybe come out of maybe have a short meditation, then close your eyes and tune into any imagery that comes up. If anyone comes to you in that imagery, you can start a dialogue with them, and you start writing out. You can either write on I like journaling with pen and paper, so that's my approach, but you could also do it on laptop for sure. And as I'm tuning into those sort of visions that come up, sometimes they're not that clear, right? Sometimes they're very vague, but there is a sort of flow to the imagery and to the story that emerges. And sometimes I get responses from characters that I'm interacting with, which are quite surprising. It's just basically I'm writing feels like a screenplay or something. It's basically dialogue between each of the different characters, and maybe there's I write some sentences around the kind of setting that I'm in, and I try and tune into that and get as much detail of those settings as I can. Is there anything else I should say? Oh yeah, so what I've been trying to do in the last week is connect this story, because the story that started off was quite a big story and I couldn't do that all in one session. And so when I start a next session, I try and tune into an aspect of the previous session. So I'll read my journals from the previous session, maybe the previous two, to check where I'm going and the characters that I was interacting with, so that I can try and connect with them again, basically. And so once I've read them, then I will start to imagine sort of the latest scene that I came out with, or where I was expecting it to go, essentially. It seems to be something like a day cycle at the moment. So in one session will be one day, and I'll fall asleep, and then I'll wake up again, and then the next day starts. Hopefully that was clear. It is. I will say it does all feel very vague, and you kind of just have to trust that what you're writing is coming from some subconscious place. What I've noticed is that you get to a point of flow just where the hand is writing by itself. Ideas are coming up in the mind, and that's what you're writing down, but it's like it is a stream of consciousness type thing, and there's very few moments where I'm not writing when I'll sit down for a session, and a session can last 20 minutes to an hour. And yeah, it can be quite full on. I'm getting a lot of different imagery come up, things which should not necessarily be related that are coming together. Yeah, if you've got any questions, just send me a reply on Twitter.